Friends, colleagues, fellow travelers on this intricate path of human existence, we stand united by a common thread, the aspiration for growth, for betterment, for a life lived with intention and purpose. We all harbor desires to shed patterns of behavior that hinder our progress, those ingrained habits that subtly chip away at our well-being and divert us from our truest potential. Simultaneously, we recognize the profound power of positive habits, those consistent actions that act as catalysts for progress, steadily propelling us towards our goals and enriching the fabric of our daily lives. Today, I wish to embark on a more expansive exploration of this fundamental aspect of human experience, the art and science of breaking bad habits and cultivating positive ones. This is not a discourse on fleeting resolutions or superficial strategies. Rather, it is a deep dive into the psychological and neurological underpinnings of habit formation, coupled with practical, actionable steps that empower us to consciously sculpt our behaviors and ultimately our destinies. To truly grasp the significance of habit change, we must first appreciate the pervasive influence habits exert on the very structure of our days. Consider the multitude of actions you perform almost automatically, without conscious deliberation. From the moment your eyes flutter open in the morning to the moment you succumb to sleep at night, a substantial portion of your waking hours is orchestrated by routines, both those we consciously cultivate and those that have taken root beneath the surface of our awareness. These habits, forged through repeated exposure and reinforcement, serve a crucial evolutionary purpose. They streamline our cognitive processes, freeing up precious mental bandwidth to tackle novel challenges and engage in more complex thought. However, this very efficiency presents a double-edged sword. When these ingrained patterns are detrimental to our well-being or hinder our aspirations, they can transform into formidable obstacles, subtly undermining our efforts and dimming the brilliance of our potential. To effectively navigate the landscape of habit change, we must delve into the scientific framework that governs their formation. The widely recognized model, often articulated as the habit loop, provides a valuable lens through which to understand this process. This loop comprises three interconnected components: the cue, the routine, and the reward. The cue acts as a trigger, a signal that initiates the habitual behavior. This trigger can manifest in a multitude of forms: a specific time of day, a particular physical location, a preceding event or activity, a prevailing emotional state, or even the presence of certain individuals. The routine represents the actual behavior itself, which can encompass a wide spectrum of actions, ranging from physical movements and verbal expressions to mental processes and emotional responses. Finally, the reward is the positive reinforcement that are repeated in the future. The process of breaking a bad habit necessitates a strategic disruption of this well-established habit loop. Simply relying on willpower or attempting to suppress a craving or urge often proves to be a futile endeavor in the long run. Instead, we must adopt a more nuanced approach, consciously intervening at one or more points within the habit loop. One particularly potent strategy involves meticulously identifying the specific cue that triggers the unwanted behavior. By cultivating a heightened awareness of the situations, emotional states, or antecedent thoughts that reliably precede the habit, we can begin to anticipate these triggers and proactively implement strategies to avoid or modify them. For instance, if you find yourself prone to excessive social media scrolling during lulls in your workday, the cue might be a feeling of boredom or a momentary pause in your tasks. Recognizing this cue empowers you to consciously choose an alternative activity when that feeling arises, such as engaging in a brief stretching routine, making a quick phone call, or focusing on a different, less stimulating task. Another highly effective approach to breaking bad habits lies in the deliberate substitution of the routine. While the cue and the associated reward may be deeply entrenched in our neural pathways, the routine itself offers a point of leverage for change. The key is to first identify the underlying need or craving that the detrimental habit is currently fulfilling. What void is it attempting to fill? What discomfort is it temporarily alleviating? Once this underlying need is identified, we can then consciously seek out a healthier or more desirable behavior that effectively satisfies that same need. For example, If you habitually reach for sugary snacks when you experience an afternoon energy slump, the underlying need might be for a quick boost of energy or a momentary pleasurable sensation. You could experiment with substituting this routine with a brisk walk outdoors, a piece of fruit paired with nuts, or a refreshing glass of water. The reward, the feeling of increased energy or a pleasant sensation, remains, but the routine has been consciously replaced with a more beneficial alternative. In some instances, the reward itself may need to be addressed. We might find ourselves ensnared in a cycle of a bad habit because it provides an immediate sense of gratification or relief, even if the long-term consequences are demonstrably negative. To break free from this pattern, we must cultivate a deeper awareness of the true costs associated with the bad habit, both in the short term and the long term. Simultaneously, we must actively seek out and engage in activities that provide healthier and more sustainable sources of reward. This might involve consciously focusing on the long-term benefits of abstaining from the unwanted behavior, such as improved physical health, increased financial stability, enhanced relationships, or a greater sense of self-respect and control. It can also involve actively cultivating positive rewards that align with our core values and long-term aspirations, such as pursuing a creative hobby, spending quality time with loved ones, or engaging in activities that bring a genuine sense of joy and fulfillment. The principles that guide the breaking of bad habits are equally applicable to the process of building positive ones. Cultivating a new wish to adopt. Establish a consistent and reliable cue that will trigger the behavior and ensure that performing the routine is followed by a satisfying and reinforcing. For example, if your goal is to incorporate regular mindfulness practice into your daily routine, your cue could be setting an alarm for the same time each morning. The initial routine could be as simple as engaging in 5 minutes of focused breathing, and the reward could be the feeling of increased calm and mental clarity, or simply the satisfaction of having followed through with your intention. Consistency is the cornerstone of successful habit formation. The more consistently you perform the desired behavior in response to the designated cue, the stronger the neural pathways associated with that habit become, gradually transforming it from a conscious effort into an automatic response. Tracking your progress can be a powerful tool in reinforcing consistency. This can take various forms, such as maintaining a journal, utilizing habit tracking applications, or simply making a mental note of each successful execution. This visual or mental record provides a tangible reminder of your commitment and can serve as a potent source of motivation, particularly during the initial stages of habit formation when the rewards may not yet be immediately apparent. It is crucial to approach the process of habit change with patience and unwavering persistence. Building new habits and breaking old ones is rarely a linear process, and setbacks are an inevitable part of the journey. It is essential not to become discouraged by occasional lapses or deviations from your intended path. Instead, view these moments not as failures, but as valuable learning opportunities. Analyze what triggered the setback, identify any underlying challenges, and use this insight to refine your strategies moving forward. The key is to cultivate resilience, to forgive yourself for occasional missteps, and to recommit to your goals with renewed determination as quickly as possible. Focus on the overall trajectory of your progress rather than dwelling on temporary deviations. Furthermore, the environment in which we operate exerts a profound influence on our ability to both break unwanted habits and cultivate desirable ones. Our surroundings can either provide a supportive framework for our efforts or inadvertently create obstacles that undermine our intentions. To effectively break bad habits, it is often beneficial to minimize our exposure to the cues that trigger them. Consider seeking out accountability partners who are also working on habit change or joining communities that align with your goals. The collective energy and shared experiences can provide a powerful source of motivation and help you navigate challenges along the way. Integral to the journey of habit transformation is the practice of self-compassion. Be kind, understanding, and patient with yourself throughout this process. Breaking ingrained patterns of behavior and cultivating new ones is a challenging and often demanding endeavor. It is essential to acknowledge your efforts, celebrate your progress, no matter how incremental it may seem, and to treat yourself with the same empathy and understanding that you would offer to a friend facing a similar challenge. Avoid harsh self-criticism and the pursuit of unrealistic perfection, as these can be profoundly demotivating and increase the likelihood of relapse. Remember that progress is rarely linear, and there will inevitably be periods of greater ease and periods of greater struggle. The cultivation of mindfulness can also serve as a powerful ally in the realm of habit change. By consciously cultivating a greater awareness of your thoughts, feelings, and bodily sensations in the present moment, without judgment, you can become more attuned to the subtle cues that trigger your unwanted habits and the accompanying urges that arise. This heightened awareness creates a crucial space between the cue and the automatic execution of the routine, providing you with an opportunity to make a conscious and deliberate choice rather than reacting impulsively. Mindfulness practices, such as meditation and mindful breathing exercises, can help you develop this crucial awareness and strengthen your capacity to resist impulsive behaviors and make more intentional choices. Furthermore, it is essential to connect your efforts at habit change to your underlying values and long-term goals. When you have a clear understanding of why you desire to break a particular bad habit or cultivate a specific positive one, you are far more likely to sustain your motivation and remain committed to the process. Take time for introspection and reflect on how your current habits align with the person you aspire to be and the life you envision for yourself. This deeper sense of purpose can provide a powerful and enduring driving force for change, helping you to navigate challenges and stay focused on your long-term vision. In conclusion, the journey of breaking bad habits and building positive and profound self-compassion. By gaining insight into the power of habits, dissecting the intricacies of the habit loop, strategically intervening at key points within this loop, consciously shaping our environment, harnessing the power of social support, cultivating mindfulness, and anchoring our efforts in our core values, we can instant transformation or the attainment of an unattainable ideal of perfection. Rather, it is an embrace of the ongoing process of self-improvement, a continuous commitment to consciously cultivating the habits that will steadily guide us towards a healthier, happier, and more fulfilling existence. Remember that every small, intentional step taken in the direction of positive change represents a significant victory, and with consistent effort, unwavering dedication, and a deep-seated belief in our capacity for growth, we can all break free from the constraints of unwanted habits and build a solid foundation for a life lived with purpose and joy. This is not a finite destination to be reached, but rather a continuous evolution, a testament to our inherent resilience and our boundless potential for positive change. Embrace the journey, extend kindness and understanding to yourself along the way, and celebrate every milestone, no matter how small. The power to shape your habits, and in doing so to shape the very trajectory of your life, resides within you.